Hey everybody, welcome back to Mission Accomplished. I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
And today we're going to do something new. This is 7 Stupid Questions.
And today we're going to do Star Wars. So 7 stupid questions about Star Wars.
Yep.
I guess the next time we're going to do 7 stupid questions about Star Trek.
Yeah, maybe 7 stupid questions about Marvel or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do this as a series. Basically what it is, like, I don't have as much knowledge about Star Wars as Mike does, including knowledge about the extended universe, that's, stuff.
That's no longer
And
canon.
then, like, I have a lot of Marvel knowledge. Probably
NTC knowledge.
I'll probably do, like,
Yeah.
we could do we'll probably do Lord of the Rings, DC.
Yeah.
Because that's what kind of the stuff that I know.
Yeah.
So, but today we're going to
But the Lord of the Rings episode will be an hour and a half of nothing but me going, I know that name.
Yeah.
And that's going to be about with the show. But we're going to do it anyway.
Oh, I got the maps and...
hey, bring the maps. Pull them out. We can scan them in and throw them up. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, okay, so what's our first question?
All right, so Star Wars, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Yeah.
The thing on her head, the white stuff.
It's a head scrotum.
It's not hair?
It's not hair.
It's not hair.
No, it's just like Twi'leks. It's just like it's a fleshy thing.
Is it like soft flesh? Is it hard?
I don't.
It doesn't seem to move.
It moves.
Does it
like
grow?
there's like a thing. Okay, so the things here and the thing there, and yes,
they swing a little bit.
Yeah, and but it doesn't like grow. Other than being proportionate to her as she grows. Right.
So it's not like it shrinks as she gets older.
But I've never, to be honest, like everybody, I've never looked up like her species skull shape.
Okay.
So I'm not going to, because it's going to go a weird way. Once I type in Ashoka's skull structure or skeleton structure, it's going to go someplace different.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's going to go Rule 34.
Make sure you have your safe search enabled if you do that search.
I miss all the good stuff if I do.
Right?
So no.
So it's okay.
It's a head scrotum.
I want to every time I see her, I want to just poke it. Like I want to poke it and be like, because I'm. In my head, I'm wondering what the texture of it is. Like,
you know
is
what?
It like,
I'll be honest.
Is it like your elbow, like harder skin?
Think
like,
shark skin.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I hate to say that, but look at the colors of it, or like a little aqua-y, and the way that they're almost finny points. Yeah. But I would say think like a shark skin kind of a
scale but smooth.
It's not, but you can't tell it's scale unless you zoom into it.
Right, you have to touch it and then you feel the scale.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to be like. Because I don't think it's going to be like a boob on her head. You know what I mean? Like, no, the Twi'leks, with Twi'leks, that's what they kind of represent.
Right.
They're like a sexual organ and a communication organ and... something they're like 4 different things.
Yeah.
And they can communicate with each other just by moving the Leku. They're called Leku.
Okay.
On the Twi'lek. I don't know what this thing is called on Ashoka. And I'm not going to look it up again. Because it's going to go someplace weird. Every time I've looked up anything about what's underneath, like surface level stuff for Star Wars, you get pervy real quick, guys. Real quick. Like, if you type in #Reylo and it's like, oh, Jesus. God.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that stuff when you... anytime you try diving deep
in anything, it immediately goes to porn. The internet is for porn. Hey! And there's a song. I want to pop that in probably, but maybe. But that's really where it goes. But to answer your question, I'm pretty much sure it's like a shark skin ball sack.
Okay. Skin balls.
I'm just saying, it doesn't really...
Yeah, so it's okay. I mean, it's just always sticks in my head. What is it? Okay, so moving on. Anakin. Right. So as far as I understand, what's canon now is the 9 movies, right? Or like the 9 Star Wars movies,
the 11 Star Wars movies.
And then the animated series that are pretty much...
Clone Wars, yeah.
Clone Wars... Resistance, Rebellion, and is there another one?
Rebels it was.
Rebels.
And I think that's it.
Okay.
I think.
So basically what this comes down to is the question that kind of comes off of Attack of the Clones, Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith. How did no one notice that Anakin was getting dark?
That's Clone Wars. That's the Clone Wars. That's why you watch it.
Okay.
I guess. Because you see, and there's a bunch of stuff that happens in the Clone Wars. The series. That's this is canon, that nobody really knows about.
Right.
That's a movie watcher. Like the Force Wills are the embodiment, the physical manifestation of the Force.
Okay.
And it's a father, a daughter, and a son.
Okay.
And
so
the father
Trinity.
is neutral, and the daughter is light, and the son is dark.
Okay.
And then they eventually switch, I think.
Oh.
Like by killing the father.
Okay.
And that's why they kill the son kills the father, I think. That's why there's no balance in the Force.
Ah.
Because they all technically die or something like that. Like, and I think it's Anakin who kills them or some shit. I forget how it goes exactly, but
all right, so
there's so much stuff in
it's basically
the Clone Wars series that
I haven't seen enough of Clone Wars to see the.
there's 120 half-hour episodes
Yeah,
that you're going to sit through. So that's 60 hours of media that you need
and
to
plus,
consume.
the one thing I've noticed, and I've been watching it for a few weeks now, is they yada yada over some major events even in the show.
Yeah.
Where they just show a quick clip, and it's just like this happened off screen, and it's just like whoa, that's kind of a big
even
deal.
Even if you're watching it in like the IGN or Nerdist, like this is how you watch it in chronological order.
Yeah.
They still like you said, hand wave over a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. All right. So I just haven't watched it.
And that's pretty much you haven't watched enough of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Too.
So all right, I'll get.
And there's comics too about the Clone Wars that are
I know.
canon, but you may as well just watch the cartoon.
Yeah, I'll just watch the cartoon.
Yeah.
All right. So Star Wars Rebels, right? It features Sabine. She's a Mandalorian. She has her helmet off all the time. Why is that?
I don't think she's Death Watch.
Okay.
I think the Death Watch. So there's Mandalore, and on Mandalore, they end up becoming peaceful.
Mm.
Like the person who takes over is
pacifist,
like we're not.
You told me before,
pacifist.
right?
Like we want to be pacifists now. Like we
Right.
don't. Why are we going to wage war? This and that and the other thing. Well, that being said, they're a warrior culture for literally like several millennia at that time. So it's like, And then there is the Death Watch are pretty much separatists of Mandalore that move to Mandalore's moon.
Okay.
Because they're not going to be the planet anymore, so they're like, all right, we're going to take this for us. And it's like, I think it's several 100,000 people worth of, like in the Clone Wars TV show, I don't think they do it justice how many people were in Death Watch.
Okay.
And wanted to keep the warlike version of Mandalore going.
Okay.
Or the warrior history of Mandalore going.
So she's a different faction of
she's a young Mandalore, but I mean eventually she's going to be, here's what I'm going to say, they're going to turn they're probably going to turn all of the Mandalorians that are around
into Death Watch.
Yeah. Because the Death Watch are the only ones left after the Purge. Because the Emperor betrayed the pacifists and wiped them out, as we find out in the Mandalorian TV show. So that we don't know exactly what happened. It's implied, and I think it showed in the Clone Wars or Rebels, one of the shows, a little bit of it. A little bit.
Okay.
Not like all of it.
So I will get some answers by watching more of the Clone Wars on that too, right?
Yeah, you'll get a little bit more answers. Okay. And then, but we don't know where the Dark Saber went. Dark Saber goes with like
we see it in Mandalorian.
Bo-Katan or something like that. Yeah. Some woman with red hair.
Okay.
And then after that, no idea. After that, the Purge happens.
Right.
The Night of 1,000 Tears, whatever they call it.
Okay.
And then Moff Gideon shows up with it in Mandalorian.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is more of an opinion question, I guess. So how do you the one thing I've noticed about Star Wars that I find really strange is shows exist that are in the same universe, but at different points in the timeline. Like currently, you have Clone Wars is going to end, but then you have Rebels is already done, which is ahead in time, and then you have Resistance, which is even further ahead in time. So you have at the same time you have
plus the movies,
you have stories that have been told, you have stuff that's being filled in, but then overall it's almost all been spoiled somehow. Mm-hmm. And so like how do you kind of deal with that when you watch when you consume Star Wars?
Honestly,
yeah,
I ignore the majority of Disney Star Wars at this point.
Okay.
I really do. I'm a Star Wars fan because of the expanded universe. Mm-hmm. That's really what my dad brought home an audiobook one day when I was very young and put it on, and this was a high quality audiobook.
Right.
So there was sound effects
and things.
Yeah.
Not just somebody reading.
Exactly. So sound effects, and I was like, I sat down and listened to it, and I was like, this is awesome.
You're right.
And then it was like, oh, you like this? And I was like, yeah, it's really cool. He's like, I used to just listen to stuff on the radio when I was little, and this is kind of the same thing, like Flash Gordon, things like that on the radio. Right? Okay. And so then he was like, well, here's Star Wars. And I watched, like, it was a couple years, I'm like 5 or 6 at this time. So here's the thing, I had already seen, the first movie I ever saw was Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I remember snippets of it,
right,
like being tiny. And then a couple years later, I like watched all of them, and I'm still tiny, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then from there comes the expanded universe stuff, which there's like a trilogy right after the movie's end, where it's some like space wizard guy, and then there's like another one, and then finally, right around the time I'm in high school, like the New Jedi Order came through.
Okay.
And the New Jedi Order was this like the story about how the Yozhang Vong, which are an alien species that are outside of that galaxy, were traveling between galaxies, supposedly, to come back into this galaxy, to come to this galaxy till they take it over for resources, right? And this was like a 20 or 30 book series.
Wow.
That, because it's all these different authors, you know what I mean, and all these different stories or whatever, and you get different pieces of it all across the galaxy, and it was great, and that's what really solidified. I was a Star Wars fan, but I became a huge Star Wars fan from the expanded universe.
Getting that deeper story.
And then, they didn't do a lot of comics back then. I like Dark Empire, though, I read that. Dark Empire 2, I read that. All the big milestone, Star Wars stories. And that's really why I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a Star Wars fan because of the movies, per se.
Okay.
I'm a Star Wars fan because of all these authors that were able to expand on the philosophy of the Force, and the ideas behind it, and what it means to be a Jedi, what it means to be a Sith, what it means to be a smuggler, what it means to be an everyman. Like,
absolutely,
there's so many throwaway characters.
You can do. I mean, you can do so much more on the page than you can do on film, no matter what.
That's why I'm a Star Wars fan, because of my imagination.
Yeah,
the movies set standard.
Right.
From there, I'm able to use my imagination to build a universe.
Yeah, it's a cool idea how to build a universe. You set up a really cool world building system where pretty much anything you want can exist, and there's access to this, power where it's kind of random, but and then you have wild cards like people from outside that galaxy or whatever. Yeah, like it's much. I mean, at this point, I'm very disappointed in like Star Wars overall. I know people gripe about the prequels, but at least they have a beginning, middle, and end. The original trilogy, while I love it, it has its own flaws.
Oh yeah.
And then this new trilogy is just hot garbage as a trilogy.
Well, The Force Awakens is a soft reboot, and it's acceptable.
Yeah.
It's definitely acceptable. Mm-hmm. But where they took it with Last Jedi and how you attempted and failed to end it, should have been too
So
many.
it just makes it hot garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 8's okay.
All the movies suck.
Yeah.
All the movies at this point, I'm sorry, all of the Disney movies besides Force Awakens are hot garbage. Yeah. Like you said, even Solo. Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie.
I like Solo, but what does it matter?
I know it's a train heist in space.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't need that story.
And here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say. You guys think of Disney Star Wars is all new. No, they're picking and choosing the things from the expanded universe that work.
They still have the rights to all that stuff.
Oh, they do.
So
they bought it. But then so what happens is there's so many galaxy changing events in the expanded universe. That they can't do that.
Of course.
And so I get why they got rid of it, but they're picking and choosing the parts of the expanded universe they want, and then they're using them wrong.
That's the biggest thing when you try to adapt something.
Yeah, they're adapting. Let me just get through this. So they're adapting Rey and Kylo from Jaina and Jacen Solo.
Okay.
From the expanded universe, who are brother and sister. Now let me tell you the emotional payoff of having a brother and sister fight to the death.
Right.
If that had been the movies, that would have been like Luke and Leia having to fight to the death between the darkness and the light.
Right.
That has so much more emotional impact
and nuance
than nuance than trying to force this love affair from the second movie into the third. Mm-hmm. It's not even really hinted at in the first movie because he's a complete dickhead doer that tortures her, and they escape. Right. So you can't even say it's set up in the first movie right. Mm-hmm. But that's what it's supposed to be. That's who those characters are, and enough of us have read the expanded universe that we can see this. We can see who these characters are just by their archetype and where they go, and it's like, oh no, no, you're messing this up.
When you take certain ideas and you apply them to different structure, it doesn't adapt.
No,
it doesn't adapt. You can't take brother and sister characters
and turn them into lovers.
And turn them into And the thing is like they just become lovers so easily.
But the weird part is that you can take lover characters and turn brother and sister like the first trilogy.
Yeah.
So even though they weren't really lovers, they only kissed.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I know. Still, and then they find out. It's like, I don't know how to even deal with it, but I'd probably deal with it. But I didn't stick it in her, so I guess it's fine. It's not incest, right?
Didn't get they barely wasn't.
Yeah,
it was nothing. Basically, the last question. One more question. Yoda, what is it?
We don't know. Yoda's Yoda.
Okay,
that's it. Let's accept it. Yoda's Yoda. Yeah. The only people who know who Yoda is are George Lucas, probably Jon Favreau, and probably Dave Filoni.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably those three who really know.
But we've only seen 3 of that species, right?
We've seen Yoda, Yaddle, who's on the Jedi Council as well, who was in the prequels enough. And I don't know what her canon story is, sorry. And then the child.
The child from The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Okay, Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda, calling. Okay. And so, not really a question, but more like a chance for you to, kind of air your grievances. But what do you think the most annoying Disney Star Wars change is?
My eye twitched when you asked me that.
I saw that.
I was like,
you got a little twitch. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have asked this.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but I was like, ugh. I could just feel my blood pressure raising. You guys don't have enough time. Everybody doesn't have enough time to sit here.
Let's compress it.
Compress it?
Yeah.
Stop stealing from the expanded universe and trying to twist it. Also, Kathleen Kennedy. Come here. Come. When you're quoted as saying that you don't have comics and stories to take things from, but you obviously are doing that and then failing at doing that, you're treating your fan base like we're idiots. I can't wait until they get rid of you and replace you with someone, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who actually care about telling epic stories that could be told for the rest of time and be legendary stories.
Yeah.
Like they could be legendary stories that are inspirations for generations to come. Regardless of if it has the Force in it or not. Whether it's Star Trek or Star Wars, you're it up because you want some money in your pocket. Stop it. You could go down as a legend, but you're not. You're going to go down as a huge failure because you just up. You done up. You really did. It's horrible. I don't know why I'm getting so close to the but I want you to hear me, Kathleen. I want you to really look in my eyeballs and see the fact that you are disappointment as a storyteller.
Yeah, we're angry and disappointed.
Yes, tens of millions of people on the earth feel this way.
Yeah,
and I'm not calling you names. I'm not ad hominem. I'm just saying that your attempt at success failed, and you need to move on. So that some people like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni
I
take over.
honestly am surprised that they haven't, like Lucasfilms has.
The one thing that you did, Kathleen, was that you got rid of D&D from Game of Thrones because you realized that they just want money in their pocket, same as you, and you realized that you failed and they're going to fail they're going to pull the same exact thing with Star Wars as they did with Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. So you know what? I'm Mike. We're Mission Accomplished Media.
That's Mike.
Yeah.
I'm Matt.
Yeah.
See ya.
And I don't want to take up any more of your time, but
this has been 7 Stupid Questions.
Going forward, fix your shit.
Hey everybody, this has been 7 Stupid Questions. I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
And we're Mission Accomplished. Please like and subscribe to our videos. Check out a contest we got to win this gorgeous Mandalorian figurine.
Yep.
And like and subscribe and please comment.
Yep.
All right. And share.
We want to talk to you just as much as you talk to us. I know, I said it wrong.
You hear from us.
We want you to talk to us just as much as we talk to you.
Yeah.
There we go. Not cringe-inducing whatsoever. So, yeah, we'll see you guys later, all right?
Yep.
Peace out.
See ya.
Bye.